Hey there and welcome. We all want to see growth in our lives, right? In our careers, our personal goals, but what if the very way we think about growth is actually holding us back? Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful principle for, well, not just growth, but exponential increase. This is going to be good.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. What if your growth could be 100 times bigger? I'm not talking about just making a few small improvements here and there. We're talking about a complete, total transformation. It's a massive idea, I know, and it's really the core of what we're exploring today.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the difference between addition and multiplication when it comes to growth. Then, we'll dive into some incredible ancient examples, bring it into the modern day with a case study, and finally, we'll talk about why our source says this is your personal mandate.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, Addition versus Multiplication. The source material we're digging into today makes this really crucial point. Right from the get-go, not all growth is the same. Not by a long shot.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got addition. It's linear, it's predictable, 1 plus 1 plus 1. It's fine, it's progress, but it's kind of slow. But then look at the right side, multiplication. This is where things get exciting. It's exponential, it's explosive, it's where 1 becomes 100. And according to our source, this is the kind of growth that really, truly changes the game. Here's a great way to think about it, an analogy from the source that makes it super clear. Imagine you're in school. Moving up 1 grade every single year, that's addition. It's what's expected, right? It's the standard path. But what about that brilliant kid who's so far ahead they get to skip multiple grades all at once? That's multiplication. It's a huge, exceptional leap forward.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, our source points to this incredible ancient story as a perfect example of this principle in action.
Now, the context here is just, wow, it's everything. This story from Genesis talks about Isaac planting crops during a famine. Think about that. A time when you'd be lucky to break even, let alone make a profit. But what happened? Instead of a tiny harvest, he reaped a hundredfold return. He literally multiplied what he put in by 100 times in a single year. That led to this incredible wealth. See, this isn't just about adding a little bit extra. This is multiplication when all the odds are stacked against you. So that hundredfold harvest, that happened in just 1 year. But what happens when you apply this multiplication principle over, say, generations? Well, our next example shows us exactly that, and the scale is just massive.
Just look at this progression. It's incredible. It all starts with one person, a single individual. A generation later, you have 2 sons. Okay, then 12. Those families grow into a clan of about 70 people. But then the growth just explodes. Fast forward a few hundred years and that small group has multiplied into a nation of over 600,000 men, not even counting women and children. The jump from 70 people to a nation of millions, that is a mind-blowing example of what generational multiplication looks like.
Okay, I hear you. But are these just dusty old stories that don't really apply to us today? The source makes a really strong case that, no, this principle is just as powerful right now, and it backs it up with a really compelling modern case study.
So the author of our source gives a personal example from his own church. When he took over, it was in just 1 country. Now, if they had followed a simple additive growth model, let's say adding 1 new country per year, they'd be in about 45 countries today. And hey, that's pretty good growth, but that's not what they did. Instead, they adopted a multiplicative mindset. They focused on training leaders who could then go on to train other leaders to plant new churches all on their own. And the result? Just look at that chart. They're now established in over 190 countries. The difference between those 2 bars, between addition and multiplication, is just staggering.
And this brings us to our final, and honestly, the most important point of all. Because this isn't just about ancient history or big organizations. The source presents this as a powerful principle for your life, for my life, for all of us.
And the key word they use is mandate. Let's be clear what that means. A mandate isn't a suggestion or a good idea. It's defined as an official order, a commission to do something. The argument here is that the original instruction given to humanity way back in the book of Genesis wasn't just to add, it was specifically to multiply. That completely reframes this whole thing, doesn't it? It moves it from a smart strategy to a core directive.
And this quote really sums up the entire message, just lays it out there plain and simple. It's a direct challenge. As a child of God, don't settle for increase by addition. Rather, seek to multiply.
Don't just settle for that slow, step-by-step path. Instead, you should be actively looking for and aiming for multiplication in every part of your life.
And so we're left with this final, really challenging question to think about. I want you to really consider this for yourself. Where in your life, your career, your goals, your relationships, your personal development, where are you just settling for addition? Where are you content with just moving up one little rung at a time? And where might there be a hidden opportunity for multiplication, just waiting for you to shift your mindset? It's a really powerful thought to leave you with.